I too have questions about the affordability and viability of this project. And I understand that there is no route and there is not an actual estimate yet. There is some working assumptions and working numbers that I understand your government's working number is a range of 60 to 90 billion. These things on average exceed these kinds of numbers by generally, I think, about 45% across the world with similar projects. So let's say the real range is maybe up to 130 billion. Let's hope it's not higher than that. But within these sort of working numbers, have you given thought to what the ticket price would have to be to cover the debt, repay the principal, and cover the operating expenses?
Well, Madame de Bellefeuille just asked or expressed the same concern. Obviously, we will choose an operating model. I had an interesting conversation with my Spanish counterpart, and his recommendation is to make those fees the fares as accessible as possible, and obviously that's what we'll do. I will say this, is that we continue to put in the work and do the analysis. Unfortunately, your leader did not. He came out against this project, made all kinds of assumptions, just like you just did, and expressed opposition to this very, very popular project, all the while advocating for other pieces of infrastructure that he cannot possibly know the cost of either, like energy infrastructure. So I'm very puzzled by the policies of the Conservative Party when it comes to this project. You have no idea what some infrastructure costs, but you demand it, and you have no idea what some other infrastructure costs, and you reject it. I don't get that approach at all.
You had your opening statement to make those kind of comments.
Your questions,
no,
though.
but you didn't answer my question. The only part of the answer that I heard was you want to keep it reasonable, which is of course what Canadians would expect. I'm not making any assumptions that are not either.
It does. That's the point.
Hey, this is my time. I'm going to ask a question. You can answer it. If you are at, say, $90 billion, and that's I think, a reasonable starting point. It's within the range of your government's statements already. The cost at the rates that you borrow on $90 billion would be, call it 144 billion. If you had a ticket price, that would be 3.6 billion. If you had a ridership of 12 million per year, which is what McGill University thinks you'll have, that would be about $300 a ticket. Is that a fair assumption?
No.
Okay, so how would you get to a lower ticket price if you if that's your ridership and that's your purchase number?
We will work to keep fares as low as possible. This system, like European, Asian systems.
How low would the cost of the project have to be cost recovery and pay principal and pay debt? How low would you have to keep the cost to keep the ticket price reasonable?
Look, I appreciate the skepticism, but permit me to be skeptical as well. You've already decided you're against this project. I think Canadians will wake up more and more and understand that the Conservative Party would end the dream of high-speed rail in Canada. I don't go into such things with these preconceptions. We'll continue doing the analysis as the engineering progresses, as decisions are made, and as we are able to invest in having a clearer picture, and we will give that transparently, that information to Canadians as it becomes available.
So the train system that you currently run operates, has a 50% on-time rate. It receives a $2 subsidy for every dollar that it collects in fares. My colleague earlier asked about bonuses at ALTO. Can you tell me what is that meeting a performance metric, and have bonuses been paid on that performance?
As soon as I became transport minister, or very shortly thereafter, I expressed to the board and eventually management of Via Rail that I was not satisfied with their performance. I do understand that some performance issues are beyond their control in as much as they share some of their alignment in the corridor with cargo railways. I do understand that in some cases they're using extremely outdated equipment, and would note that we are procuring new equipment, new rolling stock for Via Rail outside the corridor as we have inside the corridor. So I've asked them to take a long look at these performance issues. We want people
Thank you,
on
Minister.
Via Rail.
That concludes
It's an
the time
essential
that we
service.
have. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. We'll continue now with.
Thank you, Chair. Minister, thank you for being here. First question. Can you tell us how many meters of track have been laid for the ALTO project?
None.
None so far.
Yep.
Then can you tell us why $3 million of bonuses have been given out?
Yeah, well, it is a Crown corporation. They follow the Treasury Board guidelines for performance management, and they have an independence in terms of a board.
Can you tell us which performances have been met so far?
Well, there are indeed phases and stages of this project, and I'm certain, while I'm not...
Can you table with the committee which performances have been met to meet the guidelines and what exactly, how much money went to which executives for meeting those?
I'll return and happily supply you with whatever is it is possible to.
I appreciate
to
that
table with the committee.
you confirmed. Minister, can you confirm that this ALTO project won't go $1 over $90 billion?
I can confirm that there's a lot of engineering left to do, and we will. The interesting thing about cost estimates, as you would know, colleague, is that people want to know what things cost before things are designed. So I think people know intuitively when you talk about building a house. Well, a house can take many forms, and a house can contain many things. And
Minister,
until we have a final route,
I'm happy to
and the
share. I
final
was a home builder in my previous life, and we'd never gone over budget before because it was the responsible thing to do. Unlike your government, which has a track record of breaking every single budget. In fact, the PBO this morning has a scathing report. That's why I think it's important for taxpayers to know, while the Liberals are laughing at this, that they need to know that you guys budgeted $90 billion and it wouldn't go $1 over. Can you confirm it won't go over $90 billion? Yes or no?
I can confirm that as the cost estimates for the project continue to evolve, as we choose the final alignment and as we do the final engineering on that,
Minister,
we
I'll
will
probably
supply
take
all
that
of those
as a-
cost estimates. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that as it'll go over for sure. Can you table, once that cost estimate is done, how much you're going to be giving in bonuses? Can you confirm that?
I can confirm that whatever compensation arrangements that Treasury Board prescribes and governs and are put in place will rigidly follow, and we will ensure that all.
Will you table?
We'll
how
ensure
much in
that
bonuses
we will
be
ensure
given
that
out?
the pay linked to performance is only paid when performance
Right.
has
Minister,
been achieved.
I'll have to move on since you're not answering. In this spring economic statement, you guys talk about economic growth. Do you agree with StatsCan's Friday's report that Canada has had 2 consecutive quarters of GDP decline? Yes or no?
I will allow those who analyze such matters to analyze them. Here's what I can tell you. We are seeing a very promising horizon of transportation and infrastructure projects in Canada. That would include high-speed rail,
Minister,
port
reason for my
development,
question-
and all of these things will yield economic growth. So I'm very focused
so
on
you said economic
leading
growth,
indicators,
but the PBO
not lagging
in their new
indicators.
report is actually saying the opposite. In fact, we keep hearing from you for a year that you guys, Canada would be the strongest economy in the G7. 3 out of the last 4 quarters since the Prime Minister took office, the GDP has shrunk, totally debunking yourself of that claim. And now you're talking about economic growth. Can you confirm
Mr.
that we're
Hallan,
in a recession?
I say this with
Yes
great
or
affection.
no?
You were undoubtedly a great home builder. I think we should leave the economics to the economists and leave the.
We left it to you guys, and now we're in a recession. So now I have to ask you, are we in a recession, yes or no? Can you at least just say the word?
Countries encountering enormous headwinds